Hey, second grade. Um, how's it going? It's Thursday over here at my house. Um, I'm in the playroom. There's lots of Lego mess everywhere. Um, but it's got good lighting, so that's why I'm here. So, anyway, we are going to continue on in our books. We're on lesson 4 on page 94. How many of you just turned right to it? Sorry, I I can't say I miss it when you guys do that. You know it drives me nuts. But anyway, I'm on that page right now. So I do want to talk a little bit about the experiment here. Again, you may or may not have the stuff to do this experiment, but you might have it, right? All you need is a spray bottle with water. I know that everybody has water. Spray bottle, maybe, maybe not. Paper leaves. I'm sure that everybody has paper in their house that they could cut into a leaf shape. Now, the wax paper, again, maybe, maybe not. If you have perler beads, you probably have wax paper lying around, right? The melty beads. So anyway, but the idea of the experiment, right, is that you make each piece of paper wet. And then after you make each piece of paper wet, you're supposed to put one and cover it with the wax paper. And then you're supposed to put both of them in a sunny spot for 15 minutes. Not like crazy sunny, like sunny in your house. Not like where, I don't know, not like on a 95-degree day. Don't put them on the street out in front of your house. Anyway, okay, I digress. And so then you're supposed to check back. And so what do you think would be the result? And why do you think that would be important? So I'm going to give you some hints, right? So the one that doesn't have that protection on it is going to dry up a little bit faster, right? Okay? And so why would having that protection be a good thing, right? So similarly, like humans, we put on sunscreen when we want to go out in the sun because that protects our skin from getting burned, right? So plants, a lot of plants will actually have like kind of a waxy coating on their leaves. Some of them actually have furry coating. So those two different things actually help to keep that moisture in their leaves. And why would that be a good thing? Okay, so we know that here, I was about to say, when was the last time it rained here? Yesterday, lady. Okay, you're right. But do we get rain a whole lot during the spring? Do we get tons of rain at spring? No, we don't get tons of rain. We get some rain, but we don't get a lot. And so how is that? How do our plants need to adapt to that? Our plants that are just like growing without any sprinklers, right? Or that don't get watered. So, again, those different coatings, whether they be fuzzy or waxy, help to retain that moisture so that the plant can use the water at a later date. All right, now we're going to get into it. Where do plants and animals live? It says draw up here. Yay! One animal that lives in the rainforest. Oh, I could think of so many. Sloths, right? Jaguars. I could think of so many, but now I'm drawing like snakes. Lots of snakes live in the rainforest. So many kinds of birds. So many kinds of birds. It's crazy how many kinds of birds. Probably lots of different bugs. Ugh. Okay, I'm getting the creepies just thinking about it. Okay, draw one animal that lives in the rainforest. Cool, yeah. And can you show me? That's what I want you to show me. I want you to show me the animal that you drew that lives in the rainforest and tell me what it is. And one thing you know about it. Okay? Okay, so if I were to draw one. Okay, I'm getting too excited about this now. Okay, I'm going to draw a sloth because that's probably my favorite rainforest animal, right? So I'm going to draw a sloth. And then I'm going to tell you one cool fun fact about a sloth, which is that because they're so slow and they're always hanging upside down, they actually have, not moss, like algae growing on their fur. And so a lot of times sloths will actually look kind of green because of that algae growing in their fur. Crazy, right? Which also, cool, helps them to hide from any predators that they might have. Another fun fact about sloths is that they use the bathroom one time every week. Once a week. Eek! That sounds like both nice that you don't have to like take breaks and, like, I gotta go to the bathroom. But at the same time, it sounds kind of weird. Like, I can't imagine holding it for that long. Okay, let's stop talking about this. Habitats. Living things are found all over the earth. Plants and animals live together in habitats. A habitat is a place where a plant or animal lives. Plants and animals live in different kinds of habitats. A habitat can be hot or cold. A habitat can be wet or dry too. Plants and animals can live only in habitats that meet their needs. Where does this Arctic fox live? Right? So we're supposed to describe where the Arctic fox lives. I could see that his fur is white. Why does he have white fur? Probably because he lives in an environment that is snowy and cold. And that helps him to hide from his prey. Right? Helps him hide while he's hunting. Forest. A forest is a habitat. Forests have many kinds of plants. Many kinds of animals live in the forest too. Plants and animals get what they need in a forest. They get air and water, and then plants get light. Plants get nutrients from the soil, and they have space to grow. Some animals find shelter under the trees. Animals eat plants or other animals for food. Animals also help plants. Animals eat seeds and berries, and they take them from plants and carry them to other places. And how do they distribute them? Then the plant will grow in different places. Living things in a forest depend on one another to get what they need. All right, so it says, where does this deer get the nutrients it needs? Okay, we know that it gets it in the forest. Come on, guys, be a little more specific than that. So, what kind of resources is the deer using in the forest to eat and survive? Okay, so it says draw lines from the deer to two things it needs. All right, so I might draw a line going straight down because everything needs water, right? We can't survive without water. And then you can figure out the other one. All right, and this fox uses a log for shelter, and these geese drink water from a pond. Cool, right, guys? Yeah. Cool stuff. Oh, boy. What am I trying to do? All right. 8 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. So I still want to see you guys tomorrow. All right, so clean habitats. Living things need air, shelter, and clean water. What happens if the air and water are dirty? Right, so if the air is dirty, right, if the air is not clean, then certain animals will have a hard time breathing, right? So do we have anyone with asthma in our class? I know when I was a kid, I had asthma. And so especially this time of year, with like allergy stuff going around, it was not always easy for me to breathe. And if I did not have that medicine, right, for asthma, it could have been very, very bad, right? And so plants and animals, they don't have medicine the way that humans do, right? They basically, like, have to survive with just what they've got, right? Whereas humans, like, our biggest help to us, right? The best thing for us, that helps us survive, right? Because we're not necessarily, like, super strong. We're not going out and hunting with our bare hands all day, right? That's not how we do it, right? Our brains, right? Our brains have figured out ways to help us survive with less physical effort, if that makes sense, right? So less is demanded of us. So again, these animals don't have asthma medicine. So if the air is dirty and they have certain type of breathing problems, right, they're not going to be able to do well with that. And then the water, right? If, let's say, now this has happened to me, I guess, before, right? So out in my backyard, my kids have a kitchen, a play kitchen, right? And they like dump sand in the sink and, cook with dirt and rocks and all that kind of stuff. And then a lot of times after it will rain, just like it did yesterday, the sink in their little one will just kind of fill up with a little bit of water. Not a ton, but enough. And then Delilah will go out and she'll be, stirring around everything that might happen to be in that sink, along with that fresh water that just fell through the tree, right? Because it's kind of underneath the tree. So it had to come through a tree, touch all the stuff that's on the tree, like, I don't know, bird poop. And then it lands in her sink that it definitely has dirt and rocks and sand and leaves in there, and she's stirring it around, and then I see her use her little play spoon, and she and I'm like, gross, so nasty, oh my gosh. And then I run over and I dump out the sink. But again, what do I always tell her? That water can make you sick, right? And again, if there's bad water, whether it's chemicals that are in the water, whether it's just, whether it has stuff that's growing in it, like you guys, we don't want to eat mold or algae or stuff like that, right? Because that could harm our bodies, right? It could be something as simple as like a little tummy ache, or it could get to the point of, serious illness. And again, animals only have themselves to keep themselves healthy. So, what are some ways that we can keep our habitats clean, right? I hear Leo yelling, Mom! Right? So there's lots of different ways that we could do that, right? We can only dump things that are allowed to be dumped in our drains. We could ride our bikes more, drive our cars less. All kinds of things that we could do to keep our stuff clean so that we can survive better and plants and animals can survive better. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow.